Mom texted, "We changed the locks and gate code. We don't trust you anymore." I replied, "Smart move. But you forgot one thing." Then I canceled the $4,800 mortgage I'd been paying for their perfect daughter's house. 2 days later, their lawyer begged me to call. I never did. Can you imagine waking up to a text from your own mother, a message so cold it chills you to the bone, telling you they've changed all the locks and the gate code, and that they no longer trust you? That kind of sentence, that dagger, it carves itself into your memory, no matter how many years pass. It landed in my inbox at 8:14 a.m. sharp, pristine and precise, like she'd spent all night perfecting her script, finally ready for the performance. I just stared at it. Not because it was a surprise. Deep down, I always knew this shoe would drop. But because it felt so corporate, so clinical, like they were officially firing me from the family. And for a moment, the world just paused, waiting for me to process the insult. Without flinching, I typed my reply. Understood. Very smart. But I think you overlooked one thing. I didn't wait for a response. I just opened my banking app and, with a flick of my thumb, canceled the $4,800 mortgage transfer I had still been paying every single month for their house. The house they'd given to my sister. The one they claimed she deserved because she'd given them grandkids, and I, apparently, only gave them disappointment. 2 days later, another message. This time, from a number I didn't recognize. No cutesy emojis, no passive-aggressive ellipses. Just a stark, all-caps subject line from a law office. "We have a problem. Call immediately." I never did, because by the time that email landed, it was already over. But let me back up a bit, because stories like this, they don't start with betrayal. They start with love, or at least, the performance of it. They begin with a kid who keeps saying yes, over and over, because he genuinely believes that one day, it'll count. One day, they'll say thank you. One day he'll matter. That kid was me. For years, I paid the bills. I fixed the problems. I carried the weight. And they called it help, until I stopped. That morning, when the locks changed, I'd already changed something far more important. Myself. Honestly, back then, I didn't see myself as some martyr. I thought I was saving the family, saving the house, maintaining some delicate balance. If you'd asked me, I'd have shrugged and said, "I'm just supporting them. I can afford it." But it wasn't just anything. I'd been paying their mortgage for nearly 4 years, $1,800 a month, like clockwork. An automatic withdrawal, a sacred family tax straight from my account. And on top of that, utilities, property insurance, internet bills, that emergency roof repair when a storm ripped half the shingles off. All of it. My name, my credit, my money. And you know what? They never even said thank you. My sister, Lindsay, of course, always had some new crisis brewing. Credit card maxed out? I paid it down. Car needed new brakes? I covered it. Daycare was too expensive? I sent cash, just until she figured it out. 3 years later, she was still figuring it out. And somehow, I never said no. Not once. Because I genuinely believed, this is what family does. Until the crushing realization hit me. That was exactly what they were counting on. The first crack, the one that really jolted me, appeared on a Sunday afternoon. I was scrolling through Facebook, waiting for my grocery pickup, when I saw it. The photo. Lindsay, my parents, the kids, all beaming in front of the house. The house I was paying for. And they were holding a sign that read, "Home Sweet Home." Below it, a gift tag, from Lindsay. The caption, written by my mother, twisted the knife. "So proud of our daughter for building a future we can all share. This home is in the right hands." I had to reread it. Lindsay's house. The right hands? There was no mention of me. No tag. No photo credit. Not even a fleeting, "We're grateful for Alex's support." Just them, smiling on a porch I paid for. The comments section exploded, a circus of emojis, hearts, clapping hands. "Wow, she's such a strong woman. You're lucky to have her. She's such a rock for your family." Even my aunt chimed in. "Lindsay, you deserve every inch of that house." I wanted to throw my phone, to smash it against the nearest wall, but I didn't. I just stared, like a raw, festering bruise I wasn't ready to touch yet. A few days later, I called the bank, just to confirm something. Just to make sure the mortgage was still under my name. It was, thankfully. But then the woman on the phone said, so casually, "Looks like there was a request submitted last week to change the primary contact to a Miss Lindsay Carson." My heart literally stopped. "They didn't finish the verification," she added. "But the documents are in progress." I ended the call without another word. Then I checked my statements. And that's when I saw it. An extra $2,400 missing from my checking account. A transfer to a card I hadn't authorized. I knew that number. Lindsay's emergency visa. The one I bailed out during her temporary unemployment 2 years ago. I texted her, trying to keep my voice even. "Me, did you use my card again?" "Lindsay, don't make it a thing, Alex. We needed groceries, and the kids needed shoes. I thought we were still sharing that one." "Me, no, we weren't." She didn't respond. But my mother did. "Honey, Lindsay is going through so much right now. She said she'd pay you back. Let's not start a war over a few dollars." A few dollars? $2,400 is a few dollars when it's my money, but if Lindsay misses a phone payment, it's a full-blown crisis. Then came the group chat. They'd changed the name to Family Circle, even though I never renamed it. Someone had posted a meme, a man handing over his wallet with the caption, "Big Brother Energy, pay now, ask never." My cousin replied, "Tag Alex." Then another, "Yo, can we get you to cover my student loans too?" Even my dad jumped in. "Only if you rename your kid after him. Gotta keep the donor happy." I just stared at my screen. No one was defending me. Not even a joke to balance it out. I left the chat. They added me back. I left again. Then I blocked them all. But none of that, not even the outright theft, compared to what happened that Friday. I was mowing the backyard, the same yard I'd been meticulously maintaining for 3 summers because, in my father's words, it's not worth hiring anyone when you're around anyway. The mower sputtered, and I stopped for a water break. The kitchen window was open, and that's when I heard them. My mother and Lindsay. Their voices were clear, sharp, effortless, like this wasn't even their first conversation on the subject. Lindsay, laughing. "Did you see his face when I told Aunt Karen the house was mine? He didn't even blink, like a puppy just happy to sniff the plate." Mom, giggling, "It's almost done. Once the paperwork's through, he won't be able to say a thing. He's the one who insisted on keeping it in his name. That's on him." Then Lindsay again. "Honestly, it's better this way. He's always been distant, like a guest with a wallet." And then, the words that finally did it. The absolute, undeniable, final nail. "Mom, he's not family anymore. He's just a sponsor." I didn't move. I stood there, the water bottle still in my hand, letting the cool liquid run down my fingers like blood. I felt it. The end. The total collapse of whatever illusion I'd been desperately clinging to. Asterisk not family. Just a sponsor. Asterisk they didn't know I was listening. They didn't see me walk away. But that moment, that single line, it broke something that had been cracking for years. And I swear to God, something new began to form in its place. Not anger. Not grief. Just pure, unshakable resolve. They didn't expect me to show up. The invitation came in a stiff, white envelope, gold trim, embossed letters. "Please join us to celebrate Elizabeth Carson's 60th birthday. No signature, just from your family. 60 guests. A big venue. Full catering. A slideshow of baby pictures. A legacy event, they called it." I didn't RSVP. I didn't call. I just circled the date in red. And I prepared. 3 days before the party, I printed a document. $211,723.84. Total financial contributions. Mortgage, utilities, repairs, insurance. Each line item meticulously detailed with a date, a purpose, and a copy of the bank transaction. I put it on a USB drive, along with the audio from that open window. He's not family anymore. He's just a sponsor. Screenshots from the group chats, calling me a wallet. Photos of receipts. The email where my sister submitted paperwork to have the house transferred entirely to her name. Because if the house was hers, then the debt was hers, too. I texted my grandfather that morning. He didn't reply. I didn't need him to. The venue was exactly what I'd imagined. White linen tables, giant 6D balloons, a projector cycling through baby pictures and beach vacations, waiters in black ties, cousins in cocktail dresses. And my mother, in an emerald green gown, standing proudly in front of a sign that read, "A house is not a home without family." I nearly laughed out loud. I arrived 10 minutes late, on purpose. Heads turned when I walked in. Some people smiled, some stiffened. Lindsay caught my eye, blinked twice, then forced a brittle grin and turned back to the crowd. I didn't wave, didn't speak. I just took a seat at the back. They didn't waste time. Lindsay gave a speech first, gushing about sacrifice, love, true family. She said something about how this year had brought them even closer. The screen behind her showed a photo of the house. The caption, "Built with love, passed down with purpose." No mention of me. Then came the toast. My mother took the mic, dabbed her eyes, and looked around the room like a queen delivering her final blessing. I'm proud of my daughter, Lindsay. She's shown what legacy truly means. And I'm grateful that this home, our home, will stay in the right hands. Applause. Smiles. Until I stood up and walked slowly to the microphone. I wasn't going to say anything tonight. I began, my voice calm, steady. But since we're talking about legacy, let's do the math. The projector flickered, and then the audio played. My mother's voice, "He's not family anymore. He's just a sponsor." Lindsay's voice, like a puppy just happy to sniff the plate. Gasps. A few people sat forward, jaws slack. One woman dropped her wine glass. I clicked again. The screen changed. Screenshot. Group chat. Tag Alex. Only if he renames his kid after the bank. Then, the ledger. $1,800 a month for 48 months. Repairs. Maintenance. Property tax. If this house now belongs to Lindsay, I said, holding up the printed invoice, 211 pages, stapled. Then I'm here to present a bill. Not a favor. A debt. Silence. Then, are you serious? Lindsay shrieked. Dead serious, I replied. Unless you want to call it theft. It was a gift, my mother snapped, her voice trembling with fury. Funny, I said, stepping closer to the mic. I didn't sign a gift certificate. I signed every check. My father stood up, looking like he might launch himself at me. I turned to him. Want to talk about the loan application you filled out using my name as a cosigner without telling me? Because I've got that too. He sat back down. Hard. That's when the door opened. And in walked my grandfather. He didn't say a word at first. Just walked straight to the front of the room, past the stunned faces. All 60 guests watched as he picked up the microphone, looked around the silent room, and spoke slowly. You raised a thief, he said, looking pointedly at my father. And a coward. You tried to bury his son in silence. But the thing about mud is, it doesn't hide footprints for long. He looked at me, a flicker of pride in his eyes. The trust is yours now, he said. The one your father tried to redirect. I changed it last week. Lindsay's name has been removed completely. Gasps again. My mother's face actually cracked, a mask of outrage and disbelief. Lindsay's knees buckled. She grabbed the back of a chair to steady herself. You want legacy? Grandpa said, looking straight at them, his voice booming. Earn it. The hard way. He dropped the mic, literally, and walked out. I placed the printed invoice on the gift table, right next to a pile of boxed wine and family photo albums. You changed the locks, I said, loud enough for the back row to hear. I changed my future. I'm not your donor. I'm your debt collector. And then I walked out. Didn't stay for cake. Didn't shake hands. Didn't look back. The party was over. And so was the lie. The next morning, I woke up to 57 unread messages. The first was from my mother. You humiliated me on my birthday. You made a mockery of your own blood. Then my father. I don't care what you think you're owed. You won't see a single cent. Lindsay, silent as always, posted a black screen on her Instagram story. Some wounds come from those who were supposed to heal you. The comments under her last photo were a parade of vague sympathy. You don't deserve this. Stay strong, mama. Family will destroy you faster than strangers. None of them knew she'd called me a wallet behind a closed window. None of them had seen the invoice. But someone else had. 2 days later, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered purely out of curiosity. Mr. Carson, the voice said, calm and crisp. My name is Daniel Moore. I'm an attorney representing your parents. I'd like to discuss a potential financial resolution. I didn't speak. They're not looking for a lawsuit, he continued. They want this to go away quietly. No press, no social media. In exchange, they're willing to offer a settlement. I leaned back in my chair. Let me guess, I said. Half the amount I'm owed in exchange for silence. A reasonable amount, he said, a bit stiffly, given the informality of the arrangement. I almost laughed. Daniel, I said, I have every receipt. Every deposit. I have audio of them mocking me. I have their voices on tape admitting what they did. I'm aware, he said, even more stiffly. That's why we're calling. Then here's what we'll do, I told him. Full repayment. Every cent. Or I file a public claim and attach the audio as evidence. You've got 72 hours. He paused. Understood. I'll be in touch. Exactly 72 hours later, the wire hit. $211,723.84. Labeled, reimbursement settlement. No further liability acknowledged. It didn't come from my parents, or even Lindsay. The sender was a private business account registered to someone I didn't recognize. Probably a loan shark or a panicked friend of my father's. That, honestly, made it even better. I printed the transaction, filed the paperwork, saved it 6 different ways. I didn't reply, didn't thank them, didn't say a word. I wasn't there to make peace. I was there to be paid. A week later, I posted a video. Clean background. No anger, just absolute clarity. Some people say closure is about forgiveness, I said to the camera. For me, closure came with a wire transfer. $211,723.84. The price of 4 years of silence, obedience, and financing someone else's fantasy. They called me family, then called me a sponsor. Now they can call me settled. I blurred the account numbers, but left the sum visible. This isn't about hate. This is about facts. And facts have receipts. The post went viral. Again, even bigger this time. Therapists shared it. Adult children of toxic parents stitched it. One guy DM'd me saying it inspired him to cancel his mom's car lease. I didn't respond. That same day, a voicemail came from my father. So that's it. You really think money fixes it? You think you won? You're not part of this family anymore. I deleted it without listening to the rest. They changed the locks. I changed the terms. Now I live in a small, modern apartment with huge windows and absolute silence. No family group chat. No late-night requests for quick help. No guilt trips disguised as concern. People sometimes ask if it hurts, being done with them. It doesn't. Because the truth is, I'm not done. I'm free. And freedom, it turns out, costs exactly $211,723.84. People keep asking me if I feel lighter now. If cutting off my family brought peace, or closure, or whatever word people like to use when they mean, did it work? And the answer is simple. I don't feel lighter. I feel clearer. Because peace doesn't always come with weightlessness. Sometimes, it comes with gravity. A grounded, steady knowing that you're finally standing on your own side. After everything, they vanished exactly as I expected. No calls. No letters. No we miss you. Just silence. Not the kind that hurts, but the kind that confirms the truth. I was never a son to them. I was a service. And once I stopped functioning, I stopped mattering. 2 months later, I finally learned how to enjoy mornings. The way sunlight filters through clean windows. The sound of coffee dripping, not text pinging. No group chats begging for favors. No, can you transfer something real quick? No passive-aggressive, guess who hasn't called their mother lately? My phone is quiet. My hands are steady. And I've stopped waiting for anyone to ask how I'm doing, unless they truly care about the answer. People who know just pieces of the story still ask, but they're your family. I nod. Sure, in the way that a cage is still a home if you've never known anything else. But I've stepped outside, and the air out here doesn't ask me for proof of my usefulness. I don't tell the full story anymore unless someone's earned it. There's no thrill in retelling trauma, only fatigue. So now, when people ask why I'm not close with my family, I just say, I stopped mistaking access for love. That usually shuts them up. I used to check my old accounts, just to see if they tried to reach out. They didn't. Not once. No apology. No explanation. Not even a guilt trip disguised as concern. Just total silence, like I was never there. Like $211,723.84 of my life had been an administrative error they corrected by erasing me. Fine. Let them pretend. Pretending is what they're best at. The worst part? They probably think I still care. That I'm out here stewing in anger, waiting for an apology, secretly hoping they'll change. I'm not. I've seen them for what they are. And when the mask slips that far, you don't wait for it to go back on. You walk away. You don't check the rear view. Forgiveness? No. That's a word people throw around like a blanket when they're cold with guilt and want your warmth without earning it. Forgiveness requires acknowledgement, responsibility, regret. They offered none of that. So, I offer nothing back. My therapist once asked me, what would you say to them now if they were in front of you?